anorexia. I have anorexia. I know my anorexia, and I understand it better than the world around me. I don't suffer from a sick brain. I suffer from a sick heart, cardiomyopathy, loss of heart muscle mass, but only the excess. I don't need dispensable fat, dispensable tissue, or organs, but my body is greedy. It wants more magnesium, sodium, potassium, energy. My body does not know what it needs. I make that decision for it. In protest, my heart pumps less blood. Bradycardia. My blood pressure drops. The rest of my body follows in suit. And then my brain goes to sleep. A study done by the National Library of Medicine shows that 1 in 5 women experience an eating disorder by the age of 40. That's 1 in 5 of your mothers, daughters, grandmothers, friends, and coworkers. Anna becomes a part of this statistic as she battles anorexia, the most deadly mental illness. But will she become a part of the 5% who lose the battle? Or will she make it out of the house with The Girls of 17 Swann Street by Ara Zahai? Anna, open the door, please. Open the door, are you okay? Open the door, Anna! Open the door, Anna! Matthias found me on the floor, legs like cotton, mouth numb. He carried me from the bathroom into the bedroom, and for a moment, neither of us said anything. I didn't want to, but Matthias had other plans. What happened in there? I fell in the bathroom, Matthias. I just stood up too fast. I'm fine now. And what about last week, when you hurt your shoulder? I was tired. I slipped. Stop lying, Anna. I think you need treatment. I kept convincing myself that you were fine, and I told you I am fine. I have this under control. I've been eating normally. You lost so much weight, and how would you know, Matthias? You're never here. Look, I told you I am fine, and I believed you. I cannot anymore, Anna. 2 days seemed to flash by as Matthias drove me up an empty Highway 44 to an address on Swann Street. I looked around and thought, this is where it starts. Bedroom 5, 17 Swann Street. Good, I see you've unpacked. Time for orientation. Document after document, signing away my rights. Right to object, to refuse, to leave. So, ready to meet your therapist? Moments later, I'm sitting on a gray suede couch in a nice office. I'm Catherine, your therapist. You must be Anna. Well, Anna, you're stuck with me for a whole hour, so why don't we start with your eating habits? Well, I'm vegan to start. I also avoid processed foods, high fructose corn syrup, trans fats, and refined sugars. And you don't find that extreme? No, I find that healthy. But you were never overweight. That's a relative term. I mean to say, your weight was average. Sure. 6 o'clock. The session was over, and I'm directed to a community space for dinner. I turned to the girl sitting next to me, who was writing on fine ivory paper. Hi, my name's Anna. But no answer. Instead, she folded the paper and handed it to me. I'm so glad you're here. It's not as impossible as it seems, and this last one's personal, but I like the corner spot on the couch. Valerie. I wanted to thank her, but one glance her way revealed it was not a good time. Time for dinner, girls! Our plates were set in front of us, wrapped in plastic and ominous. I reached for a carrot, but panic. I can't do this. I can't breathe. But I am not a quitter. By the end of the 45 minutes, my meal's eaten. Day 3. I've started to find footing, comfort, somewhat. and the constant repetition. As I came in from breakfast, the mailman handed me a letter. Dear A, I've been meaning to write to you since you arrived, but I was too chicken. If you would still like to be friends, I would love that. V. I don't know why she would choose to write to me, of all the other girls in this place, but dear V, I would love to be friends. A. I searched for Valerie the next morning at breakfast and saw her sitting alone, so I joined her. But Valerie is struggling, and it's not only to eat, but to socialize, to live. Dear V, I know it's difficult, but I found that repeating poems helps me get through a meal. Do you like poetry? A. Dear A, I haven't been reading much lately. The medication I'm on makes it difficult. I've been having difficulty concentrating in general. V. I like having a pen pal. It makes it a little less lonely. But dear V, I think it's an anorexia thing, the difficulty concentrating, but poetry helps. I could give you one before dinner, perhaps? A. Dear A, you're right. The poem was magical. Dinner was particularly difficult, but your poem helped a lot. V. Thursday, my fourth one here. As I walk into the living room, an awful smell hits me, and I see her. Valerie, sweet, kind Valerie, standing in the middle of the room, her hands soiled. I look away to save her from shame, but she doesn't notice me. She doesn't notice me or direct care as they swoop her away and bring her back clean, as though nothing even happened. The next morning, I was awoken. But this time, it wasn't by direct care, but by the unmistakable red and blue lights of an ambulance. I rushed to the window to see a stretcher being rolled out, and on that stretcher, Valerie. I wanted to yell out to her that she was gonna be all right, that I was there. But I couldn't break the silence of 3 a.m. in bedroom 5. Dear V, I do not know where to send this letter, or if you'll reply or come back. I understand if you don't. I'll save your spot on the couch anyways. A. Tuesday. It's my 5th one here, and still no word for Valerie. Every patient here is a tragedy, yes, but Valerie had been my friend. And if I give up now, I could disappear just like her in the middle of the night in an ambulance. 5:30, Anna, time for vitals and weights. And your therapist wants to see you at 9. So, at 9 o'clock, I'm led to her office. Except for this time, Catherine's sitting there looking at me sympathetically. Valerie? Is she dead? And wait, but she doesn't correct me. I needed her to. What the hell am I doing here? Valerie is dead. Valerie made a choice. Not to have anorexia, but to die. You have a choice too. Anorexia or Anna? Valerie had made a choice, but I cannot make the same. I will choose Anna, and I did. I chose to eat the refined sugars in my cereals, and I even chose to go out with Matthias for the first time in years and eat the whole meal, including dessert, while I was there. 6 Mondays ago, my life was ending here. The patient manual clearly states that only 33% of women with anorexia nervosa maintain a full recovery after 9 months. But for Valerie, I will be a part of that 33%. So, for the last time, I stepped over the threshold at the house at 17 Swann Street.